The top pickleball tips from the top pickleball videos in 2023, all in one place. Let's get into it. Hello, my name is Tony Roig, and I have been bringing you YouTube pickleball content on this channel since 2018. Now, since that time, pickleball content has exploded on the scene, so there's hours and hours and hours of pickleball content each year to watch, with new content creators coming into the space all the time. What I've done is I have reviewed all of the top pickleball videos on all the top pickleball channels and summarize the pickleball tips here for you. To qualify to be included in this pickleball video, the pickleball videos we looked at had to be published during 2023 and had to have over 100,000 views. We're going to come out of the gates hot with one of the top YouTube content creators of all time for pickleball, which is Nicole Havlicek from Primetime Pickleball. Our friend Nicole always does a good job, and 2023 was no exception. She actually had a video that was higher rated than this one in terms of the number of views, but it was a video aimed at beginner players, and we know not a lot of beginner players are watching this content on Into Pickle. So we picked the second highest video on her channel, which was 9 pickleball tips that are actually ruining your game at 155,000 views. And I wanted to point out 2 particular tips that Nicole talked about in this video that I think are worth mention. Number one is the tip that you hear a lot, which is forehand in the middle. I'm going to put a link up here to a video that talks about why forehand in the middle isn't the best for your game. And all these videos, by the way, you can check out in the video description. I'll put links to all of them down there. So if you want to watch Nicole's 9 tips that are ruining your game, you can check it out there. But this particular tip, which was tip number 4 on her list about forehand in the middle, is so potentially limiting to your game. So that's a tip that you want to stay away from. And the other one that she talked about, which was tip number 5, so right after the other one, was the tip about dropping and just rushing forward. That's an area that a lot of players run into trouble with. They hit their third shot drop and just go rushing up to the non-volley zone line, getting pegged with the ball. Not a good idea there. So those 2 tips on that video are going to really help you out. Avoid those errors in your game. We're going to stay in the OG school here with another one of the longtime YouTube content creators, Barrett Kinchelow from the Pickleball Kitchen. And the video that we're going to focus on here had, it was a little bit under our limit of 100,000 views, or our threshold, but Barrett's been producing quality content for a long time, and he has videos that have over 1 million views. So we're going to let him slide into the radar here in 2023. And it's a really good video for players who are intermediate and are trying to fix mistakes in their game. And it's called Fix These 8 Mistakes, and it's, again, directed at intermediate players. And I want to focus on 2 here. Tip number 6, it talked about stop hitting to the ball to the same spot if you're losing the rallies, right? So if you keep on going to the same spot over and over again and are losing, then, try and mix it up a little bit, try and move the ball around. We think about that as being unpredictable, right? So predictability, listen, if you're hitting the spot and the spot's working for you, targeting and it's working, and you're in a competitive setting, knock yourself out, keep going there. If, however, you're hitting the ball to a spot and it's not working for you, consider changing it up, becoming a little more unpredictable. That's a really good tip. And the other one that we really liked on this video was tip number 2 about dealing with blocking hard balls, blocking bangs. What he talked about there was how less is more. And we can't agree more with that. Can't agree more, pun intended, I guess, that less is more when you're trying to deal with bangers. Try and keep your motion pretty simple. Track that ball into your paddle. Let physics do the job without you trying to do too much. So those are 2 tips from Barrett's video that we thought were really helpful. As we work through the top videos of 2023, if there's a pickleball video that you watched and enjoyed and we missed, let us know down in the comments. We're going to shift gears and look at some new content creators that have come on the scene lately, and they're producing a lot of content out there and getting a lot of views. So we're going to start with EnhancePickleball. The video's thumbnail is "These made me a 5.0. That seems to be a sexy thing out there. Players seem to be gravitating towards this. I want to be a 5.0. Everybody wants to be a 5.0. So I guess whatever works, right? The title of the video is 10 tips I wish I'd known earlier, and it has 507,000 views. So obviously it's a very popular video. I will tell you that in reviewing the tips, I would suggest that some of the tips are great. I'm going to give you 2 that I really liked. But some of the tips, when you get into multi-tip videos that have multiple tips, you have to think about the tip in terms of where you are in the game. and what's right for you right now. And if you want to know more about that, I'm going to link to a video up here that we did about 3 questions that you can ask yourself whenever you're deciding whether a video is right for you. There are 2 tips though that I thought were really helpful in this video. Tip number 6 is to be patient. And I think that's something that we don't do enough as pickleball players. I got to play this morning with some friends. They're all in that 4 or 5 plus range and good players, but sometimes, you know, they get impatient. And so when we were able to get more patient on our side with my partner, we're able to do better. So patience is really a super good tip. That's tip number 6. And tip number 2 was really a really good tip. And it's a tip that doesn't get talked about enough, which is to expect speed ups. So whenever you're playing, expect the ball to come fast. And Rob Cassidy helped me put a video about this together on Into Pickle many years ago. And he called it "Be ready for the bang," right? Be ready for fast. And the idea is that if you're ready for a speed up, if you're expecting a speed up, right, and the speed up comes, you're going to be prepared for it. So you're always going to be in a good position to hit the next ball. If you're expecting a softball and it comes hard, you're in trouble. Now, if you're expecting a hard ball and it comes soft, you have time, right? Because you have time with a softball. So expecting a speed up is a really good tip shared by you. That was shared with you in this video. Next on our list of newer content creators that are just killing it out there is Kyle Kazuda, thatpickleballguy. Has a video with 447,000 views, how to hit a third shot drop in pickleball. A very good video on the third shot drop. I like his 3 L's in here. The 3 L's he talks about is number 1, loose grip. Number 2, less swing, right, which is a big problem and most pickleball players have. And number 3 is lift the ball. So if you want to see a good video on the third shot drop, check out Kyle's video. I'll link to it below. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you hit the subscribe and like button down below. We have been producing quality pickleball YouTube content for going on almost 6 years now. So make sure you get notified of future content. As part of this process, I want to highlight some of the new content creators who are coming to the scene very recently. I'm going to start with Pickleburner. Pickleburner has a video with 50,000 views, beginner to 5.0 in 5 months. There's some good tips in there. I would suggest, being a little careful with the idea of like, I'm going to go to beginner to 5.0 in 5 months. There's another one that's like 90 days out there. That's really hard to do. And I think what happens is that sometimes the players, either they come to the game with backgrounds that helps them progress faster, and perhaps the struggle to get to 4.0 isn't something that they had to deal with. And that's the reality for a lot of pickleball players. So when you watch these videos, just be cognizant of the content creator. They're not trying to do anything wrong. They're not trying to do anything inappropriate, but just understand that they may be in a different place in terms of their development as a player. That said, there was a couple of the general premise in this video is the importance of the non-volley zone. He calls it the kitchen, which is fine, but it's the importance of the non-volley zone and being at the non-volley zone when you're playing pickleball. And he's talking about 4.0 to 5.5 basically. And I like the way he used the kitchen analysis there. He talks about getting to the kitchen and then like learning how to cook in the kitchen and special dishes and things like that. So it was a good way of using the kitchen. But the importance of the kitchen cannot be overstated. So that's a really good kudos on that concept in that video. The other one I want to talk about is there's a gentleman who's doing these videos called Pickleball Pick Apart. They're interesting videos. He takes matches and breaks them down and gives you like different ideas. Sometimes sometimes the ideas aren't translatable to most players. The one that I pulled out was one that had about 50,000 views, and it's the Wizard, who's Mark Nepertovich, who I know is an amazing player, does these crazy spins, does this crazy stuff with his paddle, which is amazing to watch, but very difficult to replicate. So again, very good content in terms of breakdowns, entertainment, checking it out, seeing something different perhaps. You can check that one out. And then another content creator who's new to the game is Tanner. He also had the 5.0, so he did 5.0 in 90 days, so it's faster than Pickleburner, I guess. But again, you got to be a little bit hesitant on the speed to get to 5.0. I do like the fact that there were some drills in that video, so if you want to get some drills, go check that one out. It's the drills for advanced play, basically. You can pick some stuff out of there if you're not yet an advanced player that would work for you as well. So check out that video as well. Couple other new content creators that merit mention in this video. By the way, as I'm doing this, if there's content creators who you're familiar with who you like what they're doing, let us know down in the comments so we can start following them and checking out their videos for a future analysis like this. Pickleball Playbook is looks like he's starting to restart some videos, which is cool. Last video that he did was the rules for 2024, so that's a smart video to put out there because everybody wants to know about the rules. So you can check out that video on his channel. Shay Underwood is been doing some videos for a while. I really like his video on the shoes, so I'll put that one down in the video description. There's not enough content out there on pickleball shoes. We have some content on our channel. I'll link to it up there, up in here somewhere. But check out Shay's video on shoes. And Shay's always trying to do some creative, different thinking about the game and just making it fun. So follow Shay for sure. And a relatively new content creator, even though he's the best player in the game, Ben Johns it looks like he's starting to get more serious about his YouTube channel, which is great. And I'd be remiss not to share with you his video where he did basically his drill routine. So you can get some tips from the best player in the game on some of the drills that he uses, and I'll put that down in the video description. Two other pro pickleball players who are on YouTube providing content are Zane Navratil and John Cincola. Let's start with Zane Navratil at ZaneNavratilPickleball. He has his video, The Newest Way to Weaponize Your Pickleball Serve, 161,000 views. Zane is known for his serve. He was one of the best servers back when the chainsaw serve was legal. And now he's basically developed ways to try and accomplish similar objectives with his more offensive serve now that they've modified the rule. So if you want to learn this, check out Zane's video. The only thing I would suggest is make sure that it's something that you're ready for right now in your game. There's a lot of parts of the game outside of the serve that merit attention. But if you're ready to weaponize your serve, check out Zane's video on that. The other pro pickleball player who's doing a lot on YouTube right now is John Cincola. And John has some really good content out there where he breaks it down in ways that are accessible to players at all levels. And what John talks about in this particular video, and it's 5 things that he wished he had known earlier, right? So you can watch this no matter what level of play you're at. He talks about the third shot drop not being as difficult as players think. And what's really helpful is that he talks about the third shot drop being essentially a dink, right? Because it is a dink. And so you use the same mechanic for the dink as you do for the third shot drop. It's the same way we teach it in our camps and in everything that we do at Better Pickleball. The third shot is nothing but a longer dink. So work on your dink and you'll be able to get a third shot. And the other thing that I really like there is he talks about protecting the middle. That's an area that is just not talked about enough in pickleball videos. We have a forehand in the middle, or cover the middle, I should say, not forehand in the middle, cover the middle video that I'll link to up here. But you can check out that video to learn how to cover the middle to help your partner when they're coming in. And check out John's video on the other tips, and I'll link to that below. No pickleball video list would be complete without our friends at CliffPickleball and Pickleball Pirates, both out of Orlando, Florida, next door. CliffPickleball has been doing a lot of collaborations lately with a gentleman named BK, a pro named BK. I like his content here on the underrated shot, the lob. It's such an underrated shot and such a powerful weapon. If you're bothered by lobs and you want to know how to defend lobs, make sure you check out our upcoming complete course on lob defense and coverage. If you want to make sure that you're on our list so that you get notified immediately of that course when it comes out, make sure you go to betterpickleball.com and join our email list, and I'll put a link up here so you can do that. Over at Pickleball Pirates, Joey always tries to bring some levity and some fun into the sport while giving some good advice. I wanted to include this video here, even though it's outside of our time range. It's a couple years old. There's not a lot of content out there about rec play and what happens in rec play and things like that. So I'm going to include this video down in the list below. You can check it out about rec play from our friends over at Pickleball Pirates. Before we get to the final 3 videos, honorable mention here, High Five Pickleball has a video with 42,000 views, how to hit a third shot like a professional pickleball player. A good video that shows you how to hit topspin on your third shots. Again, a video that's for when you're ready for that type of content. All right, last 3 videos on the list. We're going to start with old school, new school, which is Jordan Briones. Jordan used to be part of Primetime Pickleball with Nicole Havlicek. He now is BrionesPickleball. His video has to do with the serve and basically 5 legal ways that you can advance your serve. It's similar concepts to the Zane Navratil concepts in terms of the serve, improving your serve offensively. It's fine. It's good to have an offensive serve if that's something that's appropriate for your game. I'll put that link down below. You can check that out so you can make your serve more offensive. As they say, we save the best for last. Our next to last video is from my friend and co-coach CJ Johnson at the Better Pickleball YouTube channel. It is the serve rules so that you can get ready for 2024. Making sure that you got the serve rules down pat. I'll put a link down below. Check that out. Also talks about the drop serve, which is a really good option, particularly if you're having difficulty with a volley serve or don't want to have any doubt as to whether your serve is legal or not. That drop serve will really help you out. And last but certainly not least, it's a video from the EnhancePickleball channel. It's Respect the X, which is a fundamental strategy. It's an updated video that was done on Respect the X. I'm going to put a link to it down below. You can check it out. It's a really key strategy if you really want to up your game. It's clear that there's a growing amount of pickleball YouTube content being created every single day, and 2024 will be no exception. It's great that we have this amount of content, but it can also seem a little overwhelming. Make sure you check out our video on 3 questions you should ask yourself to make sure that this next video is right for you. I'll see you in the next video.